Hey, I'm Austin and welcome to day 15 in the ROW-20 program. Wrapping up our third week after our intense sprints that we worked through, the 20 seconds on, 40 seconds off for day 14. Day 15 here, more of an active recovery, but with a twist. And what we have today, 20 stroke per minute power plus intervals. At least that's what I call it. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna break up our 20 minutes of rowing into 20 minutes nonstop rowing at 20 strokes per minute. But we're gonna start things off 2 minutes as sort of a moderate effort, 20 strokes per minute, into 2 minutes of slightly more challenging, more effort behind the 20 strokes per minute, into 1 minute of hard effort at 20 strokes per minute. After that, we'll dial things back and reset and build our way back up. So in 5-minute chunks, we're building up our intensity while keeping the stroke rate the same. So the big challenge there is maintaining stroke rate, but practicing force per stroke. That's the one thing that we're gonna be manipulating this time around, is how much force we put behind each stroke while keeping stroke rate consistent. So the goal here is, as we make our shifts, because there's 3 distinct intervals within each sort of round that we're doing, when we go from the first 2 minutes to the next 2 minutes, we wanna improve by at least 5 split seconds on our pace per 500, at least. More is totally cool too, but at least 5, and then going from the next 2 minutes into the final minute, the hard effort, another 5 splits on our pace per 500 meters. Or if we're watching our watts, we wanna see a big bump in our watts. There's no finite number for the watts to improve on. We wanna see a big jump in those watts with each defined shift. And then as we dial things back, dial it back to how we started and build our way back up again. So it's gonna take some personal accountability, some personal focus on your numbers specifically here to really work these intervals properly. But it's gonna be a fun way to get in our 20 minutes. Should be nice and sweaty by the end and feeling more confident in our rowing than ever before. And a great way to wrap up week 3 and go into week 4. So that's the plan of attack. Hope you're ready for some fun. Let's go ahead and strap in and let's just row. Alrighty, sit forward on your sit bones, untuck your lower back. That way we keep it safe. Let's grab our handles as wide as we can and let's kick things off here with a nice moderate 20 strokes per minute to start. 3, 2, 1. Nice and moderate. Here we go. Finding our way to 20. All right, we're cruising here for our first 2 minutes. Take this time here just to find the rhythm with me. Remember what that looks like. That means meeting me at the front and jumping with me. Meet me at the front and jump. All right, keeping things nice and long. Leaning our torso forward, reaching our arms forward and up at the front. Driving our legs, swinging back, then pulling. Remembering our sequencing. Legs, swing, arms. Legs, swing, arms. Arms, lean, legs. All right, so our first minute is in here. Let's go ahead and take a look at our watts, at our power, at our pace per 500. So where are these numbers sitting right now? Look at your average. That's usually a good indicator of where we are. Looking at that average, in a little over 30 seconds, we're getting ready to bump that up if we're looking at watts, or lower that pace by at least 5 when we shift up for the next 2 minutes. So look at your numbers, look at your pace per 500, and get ready to make the shift. We're gonna keep the same stroke rate, but we're gonna direct more force into the stroke. All right, we'll go ahead and direct more force on this one. Drive harder, come up slower, keep the 20, but make the change in the intensity. Now, can you hear that in your machine? Do you hear the intensity change? You should be able to hear a louder oomph from your rower compared to where you just were. That's how you know you're doing this right. And of course, looking at our metrics, caring about our numbers, Our watts should be increased. Our pace per 500 should be faster. If those things are in check, we're good to go. And now we're just hanging on. If you've got a heart rate monitor on, you're gonna see an increase to your heart rate here compared to the start. That's a good thing. And because the stroke rate is still the same, we keep things nice and long. Nice and steady, less than a minute. Before we go up, another 5 splits on our pace per 500 faster, or another bump, another increase to our watts. For now, we just hold steady. We're just doing the work. Doing what we got to do. Because on the rower, that's just how it goes sometimes. Sometimes you're just taking strokes, man. You know? Nice and lengthy. All right, let's take a look at those numbers, where they are sitting right now. Making another improvement to those numbers. Another bump in intensity. Keep the 20 with me. Last minute on this one. Here we go, let's hear it. Push, control, push. Now, resist the urge to come up faster. We need to actually come back up slower, slower, slower. So we can go harder, harder, slower, slower, harder, harder. This is what's affecting our ratio. Remember, ratio is the force of the drive back and the speed of the return back up. Here we are at maximum force and slowest return speed, giving us the most efficient 20 strokes per minute so far. Heart rate is up. Our watts are the highest they've been. Our pace is the fastest it's been. And we got just a little shy of 15 seconds here before we dial it back. So when we dial back here, 10 split seconds slower. And a big drop off on watts on this one. Same 20, less force, faster return. Less force, faster return. Feel the drop off. Yeah. You feel that difference? Notice how the machines now got quieter, got softer. And that is a perfect example of stroke ratio changes. It's the same 20 strokes per minute, but the intensity is a lot different. You'll notice your heart rate start to go lower now, even though the stroke rate, which a lot of people say is speed, which is incorrect, stays the same. Remember, when we talk about speed, just as a reminder, so speed is not strokes per minute. Speed is not stroke rate, that's rhythm. That's how many strokes you're taking. That's all that number says, as we're showing right here, right now. Remember that your speed is in relation to your boat speed. How fast is your boat moving if you were rowing in a body of water? That's what our pace per 500 is, because it tells you at your current intensity, that is how long it would take your boat to row 500 meters. That is your speed. Speed is analogous to watts, but watts are just your power per stroke, just a different metric. But when you row more intensely or less intensely, both of those metrics change, just in reverse. Because a lower number on our pace per 500 means our boat is moving faster through the water, covering more distance faster. That is speed. You know what this is? It's time for us to bump it. Let's go 5 split seconds faster on this one and higher watts. So more push, slower return. More push, slower return. Listening for our machines. Do you hear the louder oomph of each stroke? Can you feel the extra tension in your muscles, and especially in your legs, as you drive back harder? That is the beauty of rowing machines, is that the harder you row, the more resistance it gives you. Even though a machine might have resistance settings on it, within each resistance setting, the harder you jump back, the harder you push your legs, swing your body, and pull your arms, the more resistance you'll feel. It's a beautiful thing. So be mindful of that here while we're here together. Feel more tension in your legs from pushing harder. Hear the loudness of the rower. Feel your heart rate increase. Feel your breathing rate increase. Feel the sweat start to flow a little more. This is all good stuff. This is all learning. So a little bit more than 30 seconds before we bring it up again. Bring it up not through stroke rate, but through boat speed, through additional force. Remember that when we add more force, we're gonna have to slow our return, so let's bring lots of extra focus here for this last minute of round 2 of 4. Get ready? Let's go up together on this one. Harder drive, slower return. Even harder drive, slower return. Let's feel some tension in our legs here. Push first, then swing. Push first, then swing. Push, then swing. Nice. We're halfway through. Nice. Heart rate's up. It's okay. That's all good. That's all part of the plan. Stand and stanettes. Stay on it. Get ready to dial back here. 10 or more split seconds slower on this one. Dial it back. Less drive, faster return. Less drive, faster return. Feel the fall off. Don't let it fall off too much though. Stay focused. This is not a rest break at 20. We're trying to return to where we started the last round. Now we're past halfway. Excellent. This is where we need to check in with ourselves a bit. You know, how close are we following the protocol of what's being asked today? Are you able to make these pace per 500 improvements? If you are, awesome, let's stay with that. If you're not quite making those jumps, you're simply rowing too hard at the start, right here, right now, the start of the interval. So back off a bit more if you need to. Remember, it's less force, slightly faster return, so you keep the 20. Put yourself in a position to build up. You have to do it right if you want to get better. And you got your whole life to repeat this program, hundreds if not thousands of workouts left in your life to get better, to get faster, but we have to do things right. So let's not have ego lead the way here. Let's do the workouts right. Let's stay on it. Keeping it moderate to light here. Locking in numbers. Lock it in. If I called you out and I said, hey, where are your watts right now? What are you aiming for? Or your pace per 500, what are you aiming for? You should be able to tell me. Which means that if you're looking especially at your pace per 500, you know what you're gonna go for here in about 10 seconds. As we try to bump it 5 split seconds faster, at least. Let's make our jump. We'll go on this one. Nice. Feeling more tension, applying more force, more swing, and more control on our return. More control on the way back up. Very good. Now lock in these numbers here as we approach our first minute into the second phase. Now we hold. Let's take a focus 10 on holding our numbers. Let's really focus on holding it. Here we go on this one. That's 1, hold your watts. 2, hold your pace. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Way to stay locked in. It's hard to hold pace consistent. That's why we focus and why we row together. Because it's better to do it together than alone. All right, time to make our shift up again. You know the drill. We've done it twice. Let's do it for a third round. Right here, another 5 splits faster, harder drive, super slow return. Harder drive, slower return. Find the ratio. More force, slower return. More force, slower return. How hard can you push? Control. Push, swing, pull, control. Slowness and patience on the return. Force and offense on the way back. Force, control. Force, control. Nice. Yeah, should be breathing hard. This is where the sweat's gonna be flowing, where your heart rate is at its highest so far for sure. Stay diligent. We're getting ready for our last round of all this. Last round, it's an exciting moment. Here we go, drop off on this one. Here we go, drop off 10 splits. Faster return, less force. Faster return, less force. Be careful, remember it's not rest. Don't rest here on the last one. We're trying to be diligent to get back to our pace. Focus 10 to get back to your pace that you started round 3 with on this one. That's 1, fine tune it. 2, find your balance of force. 3, arms out straight. 4, keep your length, reach, reach, reach. 5, lean and reach. 6, get in there. 7, 8, 9, and 10, very good. All right, now we're on our pace. It's our last round, so let's make this count here. Extra diligent with our numbers, extra purposeful with every stroke that we take, not just letting our workout happen to us, but taking charge, making sure that if our numbers change and fluctuate, we get them back to where we want them, because we're in charge, whether you like it or not. Just a friendly reminder here to keep those shoulders relaxed. Make sure they're away from your ears. It can be easy for them to sneak up when we get tired. We're just trying to hang from our arms. We're hanging. Leg push, swing, then pull. Hang from it, leg push, hang. Then swing, then pull. All right, less than 10, it's time to make our first shift for our final round. You know what that means, 5+ split seconds on this one. More watts. Find it with me, harder drive, slower return. Harder drive, slower return. Listening for our machines, we can hear it. Metrics, we can see it. Muscles, we can feel it. Good, and this is where you can really take a nice reflective moment real quick on all the progress you've made. We're closing out week 3 here, day 15. last week coming at you to prep you for the final day 20. Just think of how far you've come at this point. Seriously, how is this moderate and challenging 20 feeling right now compared to how you started? When you were flailing around on day 1 at 22 for 20 minutes. Remember those days? Yeah. Come a long way since then. It's great to see. All right, have a little less than 30 seconds here. All right, let's show this rower who's boss, who's in charge, and who knows what they're doing. Last minute, we'll bump it. Let's go on this one. At least 5 split seconds faster, if not more. You want to go for more here? You know what? Go for it. But keep the 20 with me. In fact, you know what? Let's start it off with a power 10 here. That's 1. Let's find some extra juice. 2, extra hard on the drive. 3, slow on the return. Hard. 4, slow. Hard. 5, slow. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Nice. Now let's just maintain this. If you want to give a little extra, just push it. Why not? Show this thing what's up. Push it. Keep the 20. Slow, slow, slow. Push it. Slow, slow, slow. Push. Boom. Nice. Last stroke for fun. Get it through. Good stuff. Light and easy. Man, that's just rower dominance right there. That's what that is. God, I hope you're proud of yourself. I know I joke around a lot and act goofy sometimes, but seriously, like, man, that's just real talk. Like, that's it. That is showing your control over the rower, your dominance over the machine, your ability to manipulate different aspects of your stroke. You know, we held that same 20. We were all over the place with our intensity, and that was the goal. So good stuff. I hope you're proud of yourself. I hope you're feeling strong with that. I hope you're feeling inspired going into day 16 and the rest of the program. As structured, I recommend a day or 2 off before hitting day 16, finishing off the week. Either way though, I hope you're excited, I hope you're pumped, and I hope you're proud. So thanks for showing up for the workout, and as always, I will see you in the next one.